St. Patrick, a great apostle, the great apostle of Ireland, and another great witness to the church. He lived during the 5th century, the 400s, way ago, but he's still very much in the minds of the church in Ireland. And when we think of Ireland, we think of St. Patrick and how he preached with the shamrock and teaching the people, the pagans who are to become Christians, about the Trinity and the Catholic faith, civilizing the country. He was really from England, and he was captured when he was 16 and by some raid and brought over to Ireland and made a slave. He was a slave for 6 years until he had a dream from an angel who told him to escape and go to the west side of Ireland and board a boat and go back to your country. So he went back to England and went back to his family, and then had dreams that were so convincing, telling him that he should eventually go back to Ireland and bring the faith there. When he was a slave, he learned to pray. He was a shepherd as a slave, and he would spend all day in the fields and the mountains, and just nothing to do but pray. And he would pray all day long. He learned to pray. God became very close to God, and he felt a call to the priesthood. Went down into France or Gaul at the time, and met different saints, Saint Germanus and other saints there, and who taught him the priesthood, the deeper teachings of the faith, and went down to Italy and met the Pope, and was ordained and made a bishop, and was sent to Ireland. And that the rest is history. Landed in Ireland. He was a very brave man, and he would confront the Druids and the pagans, and do things that cut down pagan trees that were sacred to the pagans, and he would light fires that were illegal at the time, and just really, really boldly proclaim the faith. He would go to the chieftains and try and ask them if he could build a church and preach to the people. That was his method. Each of the chieftains, he would ask them for that permission. Sometimes he would get it, sometimes he wouldn't. And then he would preach to the children of the chieftains, and he was very successful with that. And many of the children of the chieftains became religious priests or sisters. And through his bravery and his indomitable zeal, he kept going from all the way around Ireland. At times being imprisoned and captured, and life being in danger. He went through all kinds of hardships, but he came through them all by God's power, of course, and was able to establish the faith throughout Ireland. And he ordained hundreds of bishops, built so many churches, ordained many priests, so much in such a short period of time, although they say he lived longer than 100 years old, I think. But great zeal and love for God and love for the people that pushed him on, and he received certain promises from God by the end of his life that God would protect the country at the time of the Antichrist, that St. Patrick would be the one to judge his country, the end of the world. Different prophecies. Reminds you of a little bit of St. Francis, who was father of many peoples, and to keep the faith alive, the Franciscan order to last to the end of the world. So the promise was given. The Irish nation, perhaps to be Catholic all the way till now, even though it's been corrupted. We pray St. Patrick will intercede for the Irish nation to strengthen the faith again. So he reminds us of the zeal we need to have to Christianize the world. Christianize the world as the world is becoming less and less Christian now, and more pagan in many different ways. We can revive, all of this can be revived through what we each individually can do for Jesus, to spread the message of Jesus, which is so incredibly beautiful for the world, for each of us individually, and what we want to really give to the hearts of every man, all the teachings of Jesus, which invigorate, strengthen us, which really helps everyone not only to live a good life, but to have hope for salvation. So we pray for this apostolic zeal to fill us, that we carry out the mission of spreading Jesus in whatever way he calls us to do.